Mr. P, as you can hear, is in the background.
Hello.
So yeah, yeah, nothing to report to anyone. There's nothing exciting been going off. Mr. P went out with a drone yesterday. Yeah.
A dodgy sat nav.
Yeah, it took him 10 miles out. 10 miles out his way. So, we had to laugh about that. I mean, he weren't laughing because it took him,
You buy a sat nav, no?
as we call it, all around arses. Higher to the 3 watching. I'm just sort of getting it up on the YouTube at the moment. So just bear with me 2 seconds. Oh, Gordon Bennett, I've clicked on the wrong one. I'm on Merry Christmas, everyone.
It's not me.
Oh, dear me.
It's not me messing up today.
No, it's me. I'm just having one of those days.
You're having a Jeanette moment.
Yeah. Hey, Big Johnny 25, hello.
Yeah, I know, Johnny lad.
It's all right. I like to obviously stream on StreamYards, but I like to. We've got Salty Nuts as well. I'm my lady travels.
Rolling out the wall.
But I like to watch it basically so I can see the chat a lot better on YouTube. And obviously, I went to do it and clicked on the wrong blooming. I was watching Christmas one.
Yeah.
So yeah. It's Chris had one of the. Oh, got Johnny 5 in as well.
Johnny 5 is alive.
So I mean, I Barry's heard it more than once.
No, but yeah.
So yeah. Callum's. I was just gonna say he had to stay behind today. No, he hadn't done anything wrong at college.
We got what do you call it? Not suspension.
Oh, Salty says, yeah, I do know Tony's live. So yeah. Like Monday, he does all day at college. Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday, he only does till lunchtime. But for some reason, they got to go to this tutor meeting or something or other. So he texts us and he says, I'm going to be about an hour late. He says, I've got this meeting or whatever to go to. So I says, well, that's fine, so long as you, text me and let me know, that's fine. So yeah. So what time were it? About 1:15 when he. About 1:15 when he got home this afternoon. Whereas normally he'd get home like a bit earlier.
He'll be doing his weights.
Yeah. So yeah, Salty says he's in Tony's as well.
All right. No,
yeah, it is. Chris says he's gonna treat me. It has grown ever so long. You see, the thing is, when I had the cellulitis in my neck, I was due for a lady, like a mobile hairdresser, to come out and get a good trim and everything. But I was down at the hospital all day on the Monday. So I sort of rang her up and said, look, I says, I've been down at hospital most of the day. I'm not well. Could I, get back in touch with you when I'm ready? And obviously then I had this allergic reaction and whatever. So it's just been one of them things that we've been putting off because I were ill. Again, a few weeks back, I got like an infection in my throat, a chest infection. Then the very next day, Chris came down with cellulitis. So it's sort of been one of them you know, few months, let's just say. So it's sort of something that, you know, we've had to put on back burner. So now, you know, now things is coming together a little bit. We, you know, we says, oh, well, I'll have to get myself. There's quite a few people said they prefer me with long black hair, actually. So yeah, you know, it's like 2 years, isn't it, since I, you know, I had it all cut off. And you'd be surprised at the amount of people that have said to me, oh, well, I loved your hair long, you know what I mean? Oh.
Yo, Pixie got 45 seconds between Wexford. Bloody hell. I think I've got about 45 years.
Oh, we see, same as I was saying other night, Johnny. We've got exercise bike upstairs. We've got all sorts upstairs, haven't we?
Just don't use it.
Like our spare bedrooms, like as keep fit room, but nobody keeps fit in it.
Keep out of it.
Yeah. So do you want to come up on panel, Johnny, or? I mean, I know we've got 8 watching at the moment, but so yeah.
You've got a vlog on the go.
Eh?
You've got a vlog on the go.
Oh yeah, I did a vlog, filmed a vlog this afternoon. So oh, still sugar free. You don't help watching my vlogs then. Oh, another 10 minutes. Karate, who is this Pixie's channel, think he can tell you what to do? It's when I get stuck for things to talk about, Karate sort of prompts me in the right direction.
He's only nasty to me because I've got what he wants, and that's you.
But yeah, filmed another baking vlog today. A bit of a strange one, really. Isn't it? It's a bit of a strange one. It's cake, but you put custard inside the cake. So it's a bit of a strange one. So I'm not too sure about it. It looks all right because you sprinkled demerara with sugar on top. So it's like got a crunchy. Yeah, it's been quiet today, hasn't it, really? I will pop over once my live stream is uploading. Okay then, Tony. Yeah. Chris Wright virtually all day yesterday, even though he didn't mean to stay out all day. He left me a note because I was still in bed when he left. And he went, I'm going to Doncaster with Steve. I'll be back soon. What time were it? About 10 to 6.
10 to 6,
yeah.
Finally.
So yeah, so you know what he says and does is 2 different things, because he says I'll be back soon, and he wrote all day virtually. It were about 10 to 6 when he eventually got home, because when they'd sort of done filming in the location that they're in, they were going over to Chesterfield to meet up with somebody. Yeah.
We went to Conisbrough, then we went to Sutton Hall, but Scarsdale near Chesterfield, but that way.
Yeah. So yeah, so yeah, what was supposed to only have been a few hours ended up being all day. So
that's why we've got no more petrol in car.
and then all he's complained about today is his legs is aching because they did quite a bit of walking. I don't know whether anybody's watched Chris's flight that he did yesterday. I thought it was fantastic. to be quite honest. And I'm not just saying it because he's my husband, because he always asks for my opinion.
He's the biggest critic.
Yeah, he always asks me opinion and says, well, out of 10, what do you think it is? And I gave that a 9.5 because I thought the views were absolutely fantastic. It were a lovely day to fly. It were a lovely day to film. And I says to him, you know, he knows that I'm honest. And if I say it's crap, you know, I'm not going to tell him it's good if it's crap. But I says, yeah. I says, you know, I says, I think it's not up there with the best, you know, because he has done some fantastic flights, but it's one of the best. You know what I mean? It's how can I put it? It's an unusual place to fly because it's like, what's it called? 21 Arches.
Yeah.
And it's like a viaduct. And obviously it's all archways and there's 21 arches. So, he knows who wears the pants in this family and he wears the skirts.
I'm not even saying notes about that one.
But yeah, you know, I mean, you know, and hence the reason why we've started filming my vlogs a little bit different. We sort of got our heads together and I sort of said to him, how can I improve them? And it was my suggestion at the green screen. And then he says, well, you know, like I put all the ingredients one by one. That was his suggestion. And we sort of basically just got our heads together. And, you know, what can we do to improve it? So, and I still think myself, there's room for improvement still. And we have thought about, as I put the ingredients in front of the camera, like putting it up on the screen, what, like, let's say 10 ounces of self-raising flour, or, you know, having it wrote on the screen, you know, 10 ounces of plain flour, or so.
Basically putting ingredients on.
Yeah. As I'm reading them out, you know.
No, just playing the music in background. And when you say the ingredients you need.
Yeah, and then it's like cutting me out altogether.
And then it's like blah 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 whatever. They go straight into you not saying no, but on the screen it'll be put the whatever in flour in blah blah blah, like in writing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like that.
But we have sort of, Chris has been playing about with like slow-mo and certain things, speeding things up, you know what I mean? Morbing, don't you mean morning?
Yeah. I've got Lucy on me, I was typing with one hand.
Oh. Yeah. But Castleton's nice. We like Castleton. We go to that cafe a lot in Castleton, don't we?
Yeah.
So that's nice. That's a nice cafe. Oh, the ginger cake was good. Well, same as I said to Chris, I'm not one of these. You know, I like to think that the cakes that I bake, people can look at it and say, well, I think I can make that. I don't like to do something that's too complicated that the average person can't make. So I try not to do any that's too complicated. So, I mean, there's a lot of bakers out there who are doing these fancy birthday cakes and, you know, I don't really know off the top of my head, but there is a lot of baking channels out there, but, you know, they're doing complicated things that the average person or the relatively new to baking person can't do. So, you know, I like to do things that are simple, that people, you know, if I explain clear enough, that they can follow me lead and say, oh, what, I've made that, or, you know, I watched it and I gave it a go. I mean, I've had quite a few comments, you know, in like previous vlogs where people have said, oh, I've had a go at making that and it turned out fantastic. You know what I mean? So, you know, I'm not sort of saying I can't, you know, bake complicated things, but I like to think that people watch my vlogs and say, oh yeah, I can, you know, that's simple enough to do. I'll have a go. Can you make Scotch eggs? Yeah, it's Scotch eggs is simple. I mean, I did them at school, Scotch eggs. It's just boiled eggs, sausage meat and breadcrumbs, basically.
That's it, now you're doing Scotch eggs next month.
Yeah, it's just you boil some eggs, wrap them in sausage meat and then put them in...
It'll be better than Asda's. I'll pay £2 for 4 eggs.
Put them in breadcrumbs and then, you know, just fry them for, I don't know how long, but simple.
We get them for free at home.
So yeah, Scotch eggs is a doddle. I mean, we did them at school. But you've got to make sure the eggs is hard boiled though, obviously.
I'm going to say, you can't have a runny egg.
That's what I'm saying. You've got to make sure that they are boiled.
I just did the egg in the, I just did the bread in the Scotch egg.
But yeah, I mean, even you could make Scotch eggs. You just need some sausage meat and, so as I say, some boiled eggs and some breadcrumbs, and away you go. Job's a good one. Just drinking my coffee. So Callum thought he'd probably be making something at college today, but obviously with this sort of I don't know, because you see, we don't eat Christmas cake. We're not big fruit cake fans, if you know what I mean. I mean, I suppose you'll put yes. You see, the thing is as well, I mean, I don't like marzipan or icing. But I mean, if Chris wants me to make a Christmas cake, I'll make a Christmas cake. You know, it's hiya Richard, how are you?
Digital.
But you know, I'm not saying I'm not, but so as I say, I mean, if we don't eat it, I could always give it as away as a present, or she says I can collect. So present to me. But yeah, I mean, same as I say, I've got the tins, I've got, you know, easy enough to look up a recipe. Hi, Amjad, how are you?
Amjad,
it's all right, we're just talking Christmas cakes. My lady wants to know if I'm making a Christmas cake. Well, Sam, as I say, I can make you one, my lady, you know, if you want me to.
5 minutes to go, out you burning. What?
It means it's only got 5 more minutes to do.
Hey, we got Granddad! 3 kids!
Oh, Mr. Triplet's on the way. I mean, I put on Facebook, I said, so you're going to have your hands full then, Emma? Oh, dear.
I've just been partying on another stream, lol. I am just here. Calm down, lol.
Oh, he says, nice. He's crying. Hi, Steve. Oh dear. We're just talking like my lady asked me if I were making a Christmas cake, but as a rule, we don't eat Christmas cake.
Well, you do.
Well, I don't. But according to Pixie, I am making one, so there you go. So, but apparently it's going to be in the next few days. Going to be a bit warm, on the warm side.
Good.
So
hello, that's me.
that is Pixie's channel. That's my other half, by the way. Amjad is over there in the corner.
Hello.
Yeah, that he says that's me, Pixie's channel. That's my other half is over there.
Well, if they turn it around, I think you have to wave to him.
Yeah, he's got Lucy on his.
Like a white pussy on me.
She's looking up at ceiling as well. Can you see that's Chris in the corner.
We'll put baby in the corner.
So, hi, Wakey, how are you? Yeah, I stick him in corner out at way, and then he can't cause any mischief.
I don't know. Our father's a lucky bango.
Oh dear. But yeah. He says I love Christmas cake. In fact, any cake.
Are you doing a Halloween special?
Well,
Well, depends what date it falls on.
well, were it last year I did that not so scary slime cake?
Yes.
It was like a biscuit base, and you coloured you like put custard in the middle, but you coloured it green, and then covered it with chocolate. So I did that. It says plodding along, Wakey did. So yeah, I mean, I don't know when Halloween falls this year. I'll have a look. I'll have a look on my calendar.
Oh, she's getting the calendar out.
Yeah.
Armed and dangerous.
Yeah, on my phone calendar.
Green custard, interesting. Yep. There's only a bit of food colouring added to it, I think. That's all it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
All it was like your normal bog standard custard, but I added like green food colouring, and it was like a dark chocolate. I forget what biscuits they were. It's a Thursday. Halloween is this year.
Yeah, I could do a special.
So
Like, it's on my channel.
yeah, there you go. Yeah, that'd be nice. Amjad. What were I going to say? I forgot now. Oh yeah, I'll be making a cake in the next few days because it's a special day on Sunday.
Don't know what she's on about.
So I'll be making a birthday cake in the next few days. It'd probably just be like a tray bake, something like that. So I'm not sort of going to go overboard with it. I'm weird. I prefer chocolate flavoured custard on pretty much everything, but vanilla custard on chocolate sponge. Oh.
Who said that?
Wakey.
Oh. Is he weird like that, is he?
But I mean, actually, the cake that I've made today, it's like a normal cake, but you mix raspberries with a tin of custard, and then when you've done the cake mix, you put half of the cake mix in, then you put the layer of custard and raspberries on it, and then you top it up with the other half of the cake mix. Oh, I'm just doing hairdressing. Well, our son's just started college, and he's doing catering and hospitality. He's hoping to become a chef one day. So in actual fact, the college that he does, they do hair and beauty at that college, and apparently it's one of the best in the country. But Callum only does like a full day on a Monday. He does 9 till 12 on a Tuesday, 9 till 12 on a Wednesday, and 9 till 12 on a Thursday, and he don't have to go in at all on a Friday. Who cuts your hair for you?
I know.
And it don't cost you anything. Oh dear. But yeah, if you're wondering what I'm talking about, I've got clippers and I cut his and Callum's hair for him. So it don't cost him anything anyway. So yeah, I cut their hair for them. So yeah, I mean, last week Callum made what did he make? Shortbread and flapjacks. Oh, okay then. Okay then. Thank you for coming in, Amjad, and I appreciate you coming in.
Hello, Paul.
I've started like Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so it'll be Friday again when I Friday evening when I'm live again. So be able to stop a bit longer then, hopefully, because it'll be the weekend. So you shave Mr. P's hair back and front every day? No, just his head. Have a good day at college tomorrow, and I hope you get on all right. So yeah, you know, it's doing. Talking of cutting, have you trimmed that bush again? No, not yet. Hi, Osbeach, how are you? It's not till Sunday, my birthday, actually, Andy. He says morning and happy birthday. It's not till Sunday. Mind you, he is like a day in front. I mean, we're still in Wednesday evening here. I will tell you guys about, yeah. I mean, the same as I say, if you become a regular, Amjad, I mean, I don't mind having you come up on the panel. With all the hair he has. Are you seen him, Karate? He's going bald on top. If he loses any more, he'll be bald altogether. Oh, yeah, thank you very much, Andy. So, yeah, it is. That answers that question. Yeah, it's my birthday on Sunday. 21 again. And it's like last year when it was birthday, I made my own birthday cake then, and Chris says, oh, well, I'm going to buy you a birthday cake. But I says, yeah, but I says, why go out and pay like a tenner for a birthday cake when I can make it for half at price? So, you know, same as I said, I could just do like a chocolate tray bake, something like that. I mean, what was that I made? That Smarties, you know, I did a Smarties one. I could just do that and stick some candles or something in it. You know what I mean? That's what I said. I probably just do the Smarties. It's just like a chocolate sponge. You know, with icing on top, and then you sprinkle some Smarties on it. A tenner for a birthday cake. How much is that in dollars? No idea.
$12, $13.
About $12 or $13, Chris says, something like that. I'll have a look. I'll Google it.
Google is your best friend.
Pounds to dollars. Let me just have a look. Well, it's going dollars to pounds here.
Pounds to dollars.
Uh-huh.
What you want?
I did do that. It says £1 sterling equals $1.25. So what's 10?
So dollars is £1.18 today, says my lady's travel.
Oh,
That's about right.
yeah. Well, on this one must be a bit behind because it says $1.25.
It's gone up since then.
Gone down, you mean?
Magnetic G.
Hiya, George. How are you?
Magnetic G's been on TV.
Yeah. Yeah, we've got someone famous in here, George. It's all right, George. I was just googling it as how many dollars you get to a pound. My lady says a pound is $1.18.
So that's tourist rate.
So yeah. George is famous. He's been on the television. He's had somebody do a review for him as well. So he's getting quite famous, is our George. $11.03 for €10. But yeah, just remember your roots, George. When you're famous, you know, you started here, if you know what I mean. You know, you came to Jeanette Pickering's channel first. Yeah, Richard says today is $1.25 to the pound. That's where I was looking, and it says $1.25. But he's laughing.
Because I've only had a one-legged woman who got McDonald's. He knows what I mean.
Yeah.
The stream.
I was in a movie once, was plugged in. What? Oh, Johnny Five. Yeah. It didn't take me long to work that one out, Johnny.
Number 5 is alive.
Johnny Five's alive. Sometimes I am a bit slow on the uptake, but I got that one straight away. That's an old movie and all. So I'm not famous. I will be one day. Chris has got recognised before.
Twice.
Yeah, twice. He's been recognised twice. He says, "Lol, Chris, your comment was the funniest we've ever had." What was that?
That was a one-legged.
Oh yeah.
I forget. You'll have to copy and paste it, George. I've forgotten what
one-legged woman robber or something. Yeah, Robin McDonald's or something.
They got one show, a gun, loads of money, bags of money,
and a McDonald's sign.
McDonald's sign.
Yeah.
I can't remember the exact saying I said. I get recognised all the time. Your channel's getting big, mate. Just see this porn star Jessica. What?
Oh, dead at 43.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's not good, is it, Lewis? What I put you down in there?
But yeah, I mean, I once skid somebody in Grimsby asked us some tips on how to make a lemon drizzle cake. If that's any consolation.
I watched football that match.
So yeah. I mean, we stood at Cash At and she went, "Oh, somebody's going to be baking." I went, "Yeah, I've got a YouTube channel." And she says, "Oh, I've tried making lemon drizzle no end of times." I says, "That's one of my specialities." So I'm there studying, and you know, there's a queue a mile long behind me waiting, and I'm trying to tell her, you know, how to make the perfect lemon drizzle. But that woman, she was making her nephew a birthday cake or something, weren't she?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that were in Asda as well.
Our data always goes down in Asda.
So Chris and Callum sat there and they're like,
I said, get us trolley, we'll go downstairs like that, chit-chatting.
you know, she wanted to, I think it were a nephew and they were a bit of a magician. And she says, I don't bake, blah, blah, blah. But she said, well, I wanted to have a crack at it. So she says, I'll tell you what I'm on about, because she got like 2 different size. You versus Barry, who would win? Who's Barry? Karate says you versus Barry, who would win?
You mean Barry's young?
No idea. Well, anyway, we're in Asda, and she'd been upstairs and got these 2 different size cake tins, and she was wondering what icing to use. And I says, well, I don't sort of use icing all that. Barry Lewis. I don't use icing all that often, but that you wrote, you know, that you ain't got to make yourself. It's if you're not like an accomplished baker, that's ready made, and all you have to do is roll it out. I says, but then again, you've got to decide whether or not you're putting marzipan on it, or are you just making a sponge, or, you know, and we were stood there ages. You know, like me, I tried to advise her on what best to do. So she ended up, and she says, well, I want like, I want red icing for Arts and Diamonds. And she says, obviously, I want the black icing for the clubs and the spades. So basically, she says, oh, I don't want anything too fancy. I'm just going to make a sponge cake, like a Victoria sponge, but I wanted to ice it, you know, because it's his birthday. So yeah, I must have been talking to her like 45 minutes to nearly an hour. So yeah, I mean, they are 2 claims to fame, you know. People picking my brains in Asda as you know, as baking tips, you know what I mean? Can't say I've been recognised. The woman in Grimsby Asda did write my name down so she could go and have a look at my channel. So I don't know whether she did or not. So yeah. So has anybody else been recognised? You know, oh, you that guy with, you know, or girl with YouTube channel? You know, apart from Pixie getting recognised.
I hope, Carter, you're jealous. Mwah. Ha 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 ha. That's what it is jealous.
So yeah, you know, that's my claim to fame anyway. I get asked for tips far and wide, Grimsby and Answorth Asda in Sheffield.
I get recognised at the pub. Same pub.
Yeah, same pub. Been recognised twice. So
who's Barry Lewis?
Johnny were watching. He says, "Can't beat a pair of lips to kiss whoop."
Whoop, whoop. It'll be going down
Karate. So yeah, that's my claim to fame. Ask baking tips in Asda, and both times we've been in Asda. Are you making another coffee?
Yeah, I'm just waiting for the microwave.
Oh.
I'm thirsty.
So yeah, I think the vlog will probably be up tomorrow. It's all baked and everything. I've just got like finish it off and do the green screen bit. Yeah. You know what I mean? I think the next one I'm going to do like muffins.
Scotch eggs.
Well, you get me eggs and sausage meat then. Can you remember last time we tried to get some sausage meat for Callum's cookery?
That was a nightmare, that, wasn't it?
We ended up going to Crystal Peak to them butchers.
Oh, there then. I don't know where to get it from.
So yeah, I mean, like, I don't know whether Asda sell it or whether it comes pre-packed or not. I don't know. We'll have to have a look. It's all right, Johnny. Chris wants me to make Scotch eggs because Karate were asking me about Scotch eggs, and I says they're easy enough to do. Just boiled eggs and sausage meat, and then you get some breadcrumbs, and voila, you've got Scotch eggs. So yeah, the next one I think is going to be. I'll tell you in a minute. I think raspberry lemon muffins, because I don't always like to keep doing like cakes, so I'm going to have a crack at these. It's just obviously sponge muffins, breadcrumbs, no. With raspberries in, and then you sprinkle, I think, sprinkle them with sprinkle demerara sugar on top. So you know, they're easy enough to do.
Yeah.
And I will be probably making my own. I'll tell you another one. Drizzle.
Yeah.
Slippery slope for me, lol, breadcrumbs. Like there's like 2 cheesecakes that I've looked at, and one's can you remember Cadbury's Flake? So one's like a Cadbury Flake cheesecake, and then the other one is like giant buttons. So yeah. But yes, the lemon drizzle. Darwin's banned from having drizzle. He gets too hyper. My lemon drizzle's legendary. Keeps wanting me to a cheesecake, yummy. So yeah, I mean that's I troll the internet like a lot of times. I use BBC Good Food or the BBC recipes, all recipes. But these 2 particular ones have the off the actual Philadelphia site. Because I'll tell you something, they've just started making it, and I've been having it for quite a bit, haven't I? And it's Philadelphia soft cheese, and it's like chocolate, isn't it? What's that chocolate that like famous chocolate, and it's absolutely gorgeous. And Chris says, I don't know how you can eat it. Cream cheese and chocolate don't go together at all, but it's absolutely gorgeous. And that's sort of what got me sort of looking at Philadelphia site, and that's where that came into. Like a Cadbury's Flake one, and one with giant chocolate buttons, I think. Well, you see, I have the Philadelphia, the chocolatey one, and Chris just has the plain, the plain Philadelphia. But it like, I don't know, I can't explain it to anybody. It's like chocolate spread, but it's not as fattening as chocolate spread, if you know what I mean. And I have it on my toast in the morning. So, but I mean, like this cake that I've made today, same as I said to Chris, you wouldn't put it's same as I say, you like put custard in the middle of it, basically. You mix the cake mix up, you put half of the raspberries in the actual cake mix, and then you mix the other half of the raspberries in with this custard. And then when you've mixed all the cake ingredients up, you fill the tin, well, half fill it, put the layer of custard and raspberries on it, and then put the other half of the cake mix on top of it, and then sprinkle it with demerara sugar. Richard says, I went to a posh wedding and they put chutney on top of cheesecake. It was yummy. Ugh. But you see, as well as that, my lady, like when we go shopping, we've started buying, you know, the pancakes that they do in Asda. And I have banana and golden syrup on mine. But Callum likes toast with chocolate spread on it. Now he has the proper like chocolate hazelnut spread, but like normal chocolate spread is a bit on sweet side for me, if you know what I mean. Hey, we've got Mark Plays in.
Marky Plays.
It's all right, Mark. We're talking about food. We're talking about cakes and cheesecakes, and you know, I've got quite a few cheesecake recipes sort of on the back burner. I've downloaded a blueberry cheesecake, and then some, as I say, these two, one with flakes and one with buttons, and then there's a chocolate cheesecake, you know what I mean? It's I tend to have like a not a purge, but I you know, I'm looking up like recipes. I think, oh, that looks good. I'll you know, and I download it to my phone, you know, and I've got 101 like recipes, and if it's any good, I save it on my phone just in case, you know, Chris or anybody else wants me to make it again. Now, we've got a friend coming next Wednesday, a week today. And when we went to Eagle VPs for the weekend, she came and looked after the cats. And I says, well, you know, she won't take any money off me for looking after them. So she says, well, I'll tell you what. She says, you can make me a cheesecake, but it's got to be with cherries. So I've even downloaded a cherry cheesecake, but it's like you use like the pie filling. You don't use fresh cherries. You use like the cherry pie filling. Banana man. Yeah, but I bet you didn't know this, sweetheart. Wow. But bananas are high in fibre.
Yes, I know, because you keep on telling me.
You know, I like bananas. Callum likes bananas, but for some reason, Chris isn't fond of bananas. So yeah. I mean, I think I've done banana bread, haven't I? I think I've done that one. So yeah, so hopefully,
Thomas.
Hi Thomas, how are you? So before next Wednesday, I've got to make this cherry cheesecake because I promised her I was going to make her a cheesecake, but she's like all things cherries. You know, I was going to do a Black Forest gatto, and then I thought, I seen this cheesecake and I went, like, which would you prefer? A Black Forest gatto or this cheese? I sent her the recipe, or would you prefer this cherry cheesecake? And she went, oh, the cherry cheesecake, and you know, any day of week. So that's the plan. I mean, obviously, if I'm going to make it, obviously not for ourselves, but I'll probably vlog it anyway, just to let people know that I've made it. So yeah, so we're talking all things like bakery, or you know, I mean, if 10th time she's told me this week. What? Oh, about banana. I keep trying to to get him to eat bananas, but you know, I'm trying to get him to eat healthy. You know, we went through a stage where he were eating a lot of apples, and sort of, it's like everything else. The more you eat it, the fed up you. Hey, we've got Crimson.
Cribble!
He says your place looks different at night. Oh dear. So I'm just going to put the link in the chat. If anybody wants to come on, you're welcome to do so. I'll leave it sort of for a little while, and you know, if nobody wants to come up, that's fine. You've got the baby oil on standby. So if anybody wants to join, the link's there.
Don't forget to check your bloody...
Yeah, I'm not going to leave it up there for long, because you never know who might be clicking on it or watching on it, and you know what I mean. So I'm just going to... Oh, okie dokie then. I'll leave it there for a little while then, Crimson. Just scroll back in the chat and, you know, click on it, and, you know. I'll never live that one down. He right in the car, and I says to him, he says, send me link. So I sent him the link, and he was back home before I noticed him in backstage area. He says, I've been waiting about 20 minutes. Oh dear. He was stuck in the green room. And he went, look, and he showed me his phone, and he says, I've been here about 20 minutes. Oh dear, that was funny that way, weren't it? Oh dear.
You know.
So yeah, I mean, I didn't really want to let you in. That's the reason why I did see you, but I ignored you. Not really. So yeah, he says Jeanette got you locked up backstage. Oh dear. I don't ignore you, only when you're moaning and groaning on about things. And as we say in the UK, and Dennis will understand what I'm talking about, I turn a deaf in.
What?
You'll get what? So yeah, and as we used to say to Callum, selective deafness. So you know, you pick and choose what you hear and what you don't hear. So
especially with regards to Callum, because it's the same thing, everybody.
But we like to know how he's gone on at college, and he did let us know, because he had to stop behind about an hour. Not because he's done anything wrong, it was some tutorial or something. And he says, like, some of them didn't stay behind. He's, you know, I says, you know, what you're doing collecting brownie points because you were one of the ones that stopped behind. So the same as we said. You know, he only does half days, Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday, so it makes no detriment if he's got to stop an hour. So and he don't go in at all Fridays, so I don't think they do detention at college.
No. Get thrown out.
But it's funny thing is, he did a 3-day induction last week and cut his finger, and then he says to his dad this morning, he went, oh, Dad, he says, while I think about it, he says, I cut my finger other day. He says, and I've got blood on me. He says, I've got blood on my bag. He says, can you get a sponge and wipe it off for me? So I says, he says, I can't go to college. He says, with blood all over my bag. So Chris gets sponge and washing up liquid, takes his bag in kitchen. He says, I'm not kidding you. He says, it was like a pinprick amount of blood. And he says, I can't go to he says, I can't go to college. He says, with my bag covered in blood. And Chris says it was smallest amount. So, should have put a mirror on your shoes. Yeah, well, he don't take after you. That might be something you might do. And Callum's a good boy. He's learned from the master of perviness. Oh dear. But yeah, and the thing is, as like one or two of you know, he's got special needs, and he is quite vulnerable. So am I. And there was this lad. Like when he were at school, folks would say to him, Callum, do this or Callum, do that, and he'd do it. But like this lad, they were at, I think, we're at Monday. He were at college Monday, and this lad says, Callum, go and pinch that cream. And he's starting to say no now. And he says, no, he says, if you want it, he says, you pinch it. You know what I mean? It's
only clicking in after 16 years.
Yeah, it's learning now to say no. You know, when he says, don't leave, I'm trying to roll my ciggies.
Yeah, he didn't leave.
What?
He didn't leave.
Oh!
He's trying to roll
Yeah.
ciggies.
Well, you'll have to be like me and Chris, look, and you roll them beforehand. Oh, Thomas says, I'm back, just switched to the laptop from the phone. Oh, so yeah. So yeah, he's learning to say no now. You know, is same as Chris says, after 16 and a half years, he's like learning to say no. And same as I said to Callum, it's all right, but you'll be the one that gets into trouble for it, not him. You. I says, if you serious about this course, I says, don't do anything to jeopardize that, i.e., you know, get chucked off at course or anything like that. So, you know, he's learning now that he's not going to do anything that's going to jeopardize him getting thrown off the course. He's not saying no. He says it, yeah, well, Chris has got Lucy on his lap.
And my arm.
And his arm. He's having to type one finger onto laptop.
I'm getting a master at this typing lot.
So yeah, so he's learning eventually, at long last. So, and he's enjoying it. That's the main thing. Thomas will know what I'm talking about. The only sort of bugbear that he's got is on his feet, like on a Monday. A Jack Russell Staffy cross. The only thing that he's got to get used to is being on his feet all day. So, yeah. So it's but same as I said, the more, you know, you'll get used to it eventually.
Has Wakey got headphones on? If not, walkies!
So, Chris is trying to stir the pot. Well, you see, that's good thing about having cats. We ain't got a dog, so you just open the door and let them out, and they take themselves out, don't they?
Yeah, I'm concierge for them. I don't get no tips, only dead mice.
He says she still takes me for a walk, Pixie. She's a strong little bugger.
Bless her.
But yeah, Lucy is the cat that's on his knee. She's a daddy's girl.
Oh, yes.
Very much so.
Well, of course, you're Sunday lunch.
Yeah, yeah. Best about it, though, she sits there. When we have it, because I sit at this, I've got my laptop on the table. I sit at this table with my Sunday lunch. And like last Sunday, she sat right in front of my leg. And she kept going like that, like tapping me, you know. When you're leaving me, son. And that's the only time she wants something to do with me. Any other time, you know.
Or if she get bees out, for God's sake, because she'll just go.
Yeah, but yeah, she's never been a big fan of mine. Let's just say. I bet we've had her about 7 years, haven't we? Something like that. But she's you know, she's never been a fan of mine. I don't know. She's a man's cat. Let's just say. Like when mind you, having said that, when my mum used to come, she used to make a fuss of my mum, but you know, for some reason, you know, she don't like me.
There's only Benny that's your cat, really, isn't it?
He says, I used to have a cat 20 years ago when he used to play with a Dalmatian next door. I love Dalmatians, I do. Richard says, our dog's the same, only bothers me when I'm scoffing.
Yeah,
but yeah.
Bother me when they want bloody feeding.
Well, you see, this is the thing. It don't matter whether we have pork or whether we have gammon or whether we... Chris always has mint sauce on his dinner. Now I don't. Sort of since my operation, anything that's sweet like that, I've sort of gone right off it. And she not good to him because she knows he has mint sauce on his dinner. And basically, she knows that more often than not, when we have a Sunday dinner, I leave something. So that's why she comes to me, because she knows I'm the only one that leaves anything.
What?
Oh, Wakey says he's a mint sauce fan as well. But yeah, Chris has mint sauce on everything. You know, whether it's chicken, whether it's beef, whether it's gammon, whether it's pork, you know. And when my mum were alive, I used to have to buy applesauce in because she'd only eat applesauce with pork. Now, obviously, we don't have applesauce. Yeah, Richard's saying mint sauce.
Mint sauce and everything, brown sauce and everything. No.
Yeah, it's a mint sauce and a brown sauce. Now Callum's different. He has red sauce and everything.
No, I have brown sauce.
Okay then, my lady. Same as I say, you'll have to, you know.
Oh, she's gonna message you on Instagram.
Yeah. If you want me to make you a Christmas cake, I will do. If you just tell me what you need, or you know, whatever, I'll.
I do want brown sauce and sandwiches.
Yeah, very, very rarely though. So thank you for coming in, my lady, and I do appreciate you making the effort. Oh, Richard likes.
I used to like mayo on chips. Plenty of vinegar on though.
But you see, same as I say, since I had my weight loss surgery, mint sauce is too sweet for me. So, I've gone right off it. I mean, we all, well, apart from Callum, but we both used to have mint sauce on a Sunday dinner. But since I've had my weight loss surgery, I went right off it. So you like mayo on your pizza as well, don't you?
Is it because it's a bit too minty?
So yeah, you know, and like obviously with the Sunday dinner, they have them piled up right here. I just have like a small portion. So, but you know, we've got Callum started drinking coffee. It's only like took him 16 and a half years, and he likes a coffee occasionally now.
Because it was 2 hearts, probably why I didn't have it.
So yeah, so he's drinking coffee now. I mean, it was just like juice or pop, weren't it, that you'd drink, or milkshake. But now, oh, did that go out? Choke quietly, please, Callum. Callum's choking.
Just don't get the barf on the carpet.
Yeah, and Callum's a big fan of this, like sparkling water, isn't it? That.
Don't know why people don't.
Oh,
So I haven't had chips for 6 weeks.
So
Coke Zero at college.
Yeah, so he's sort of he's into the well, it's lemon and lime, isn't it? Sparkling water. Now, right, when I
seen you in a while,
pint pot of tea for me. Well, you see, I don't buy. I mean, we buy pop, but I always buy the sugar-free version. And I have that Volvic, like still water. That reminds me, Callum, before you go, can you get me a bottle of water out of the kitchen, please? So yeah, you know, I mean, the only problem is I can drink the sparkling water, but it gasses me up too much. So that's hence the reason why I drink still water.
I don't get how people don't like it.
What?
Sparkling water.
Hey up, Lucy. She's following Callum now.
She's checking up on me. I'm like, choking.
Make water taste nice. Add vodka. I'll just stick to. Oh, I've got an itch right in the middle of my back. You know when you've got an itch right in the middle of your shoulder blade, it's driving me nuts. So yeah, I mean that's what I drink. Look, that it's Volvic, touch of fruit, lemon and lime, sugar free, still water. That's what I drink. So I mean it's about is it 75 or 80p for a big bottle like that, and it's 1.5 litre. So one of them will last me about a week. So yeah, like when we're not having coffee, I just have a glass of that. So I've always good morning.
Good morning.
Fill one up from the tap in the kitchen. So but yeah, I mean it's I mean you don't complain when you drink it. But everybody's got different tastes, haven't they? You know, I mean, Callum likes sparkly flavoured water. But I used to, well, my mum used to buy packs of 12, like just plain, you know, still water. And I used to buy these like with flip lid things.
Well, it's really great. Get a pint glass full of it and pour it down the sink and replace it.
But you see, this is the thing, Richard. I mean, when we're in house, I don't drink. Chris does, but I don't.
Oh, sorry, Lucy. Sorry.
So, you know, it's very rarely. I mean, only time I drink is probably Christmas Eve or New Year's. So, you know, it's very, very rare I drink. Last time I had a drink, well, when we went to visit Keith, and I bought 4 Smirnoff Ice, and Callum had 2. So I only like had 2 of them. So, and then drunkards got through nearly a bottle of whiskey. So and he was trying to lead Callum astray because he got him to try gin and tonic, and like a malt whiskey, and it burnt his throat out. Malt whiskey did. See, morning.
See the morning.
So yeah, he weren't fond on gin and tonic, were he?
No.
He were quite taken with whiskey. What were it? Whiskey and lemonade. He had, and then Keith says, "Oh, if you like whiskey," he says, try some of this malt whiskey." He says, "But you can't put anything in with it." He says, "You've got to drink it neat." So anyway, Callum has like the tiniest little drop in this glass, and he took a drink out on it, and it were coughing and spluttering everywhere. So yeah.
Fondant. What was fondant?
Icing.
Oh, why did you say icing there?
But yeah, the normal whiskey were, you know, with a touch of lemonade in it were all right. But when Keith said to him, he says, with this malt whiskey, he says you don't put anything in it. He says you have to drink it neat. Oh God, the face he pulled, and he were coughing and spluttering. We thought we were going to have to give him Heimlich manoeuvre or something. Oh dear. And he weren't too fond of gin and tonic, were he?
No.
So, but I think myself, I think he's going to be like Chris. He's going to be a beer drinker. So yeah. I mean, you know, Chris will tell you, get him some Bushmills Black.
Bushmills Black?
Mm.
Is that a lager?
No idea.
Bitter?
No idea. I can Google it for you.
Well, Wakey will tell us.
So,
She's Googling away.
oh, it's whiskey.
Oh, is it whiskey?
Irish whiskey.
Irish whiskey.
Yeah.
There you go. It's an Irish whiskey, says Wakey.
Yeah. It's expensive whiskey and all that looks of things.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. About £26 a bottle. So yeah, I've just Googled it. It says it's an Irish whiskey. Yeah, I tend to. I mean, I've never liked whiskey either, Richard. I mean, like one New Year's Eve, me and Chris got absolutely trolleyed on vodka, and I've never touched it since. I was puking up all next day, and I got a right ding dong of a hangover. And well, it were New Year's Eve, weren't it?
Yeah.
And we were going Baileys.
Oh,
Now that is too sweet. Ugh. Yeah, we were going up to his mum and dad's on New Year's Day. He must have had to stop car about 6 times.
Half a dozen Irish coffees made from that, and you are in La
La Land. But yeah, and after that, I said never again. I mean, like, because we lived in Nottinghamshire at the time, and his mum and dad obviously live in Barnsley, and we'd been invited up to his mum and dad's. And I had visions like going down motorway and sort of barfing out at window, and car behind me getting splattered all over windscreen. You know what I mean? Yeah. I was that ill the next day. Same as I say, I hadn't touched it since. What were we on? Vodka and Coke, something like that. So, Tia Maria. But you see, my mum used to like Baileys, and 1, it's made with whiskey, and 2, it's too sweet, and that's why I don't like it.
Barnsley or Barnsley? Just call them Diggles.
So yeah, I mean that day when we were going up there, and then his mum and dad were wondering, because they did it like a Sunday dinner, but it was New Year's Day, why none of us ate all his dinner.
Mm.
And it would cost my stomach was churning like one But we could tell his mum and dad that we were, you know, hungover and whatever from the night before. She says, you know, and I just says, oh, you know, my stomach's been a bit off today and I'm not, you know, 100% sort of thing. You know what I mean?
Get this head over here, lad.
Barnsley's 6 miles from me.
Mm.
Oh, so you just up road then?
Yeah.
So yeah. Get this end over here, lad. Well, his mum and dad actually live in Elsica, and his sister lives in Oyland. So you probably know where them two are.
Ask directions in Barnsley.
Yeah, his mum and dad live near Elsica train station, and his sister just lives up road in Oyland.
On Elm Street.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, it's a right nightmare on there.
Yeah, his sister lives on Elm Street of all streets to live on. Nightmare on Elm Street.
Dun, dun, dun.
So yeah, I bet Wakey knows where them two places are then if he only lives 6 miles from Barnsley.
Oh, not necessarily.
Well, not necessarily, but because see, at one time we used to go went it through Chapeltown,
Yeah.
but we could just go straight down motorway now.
Straight down M1. Junction 30 somewhere.
That goes down there, then that goes over there.
Get this hand, get this head down, oil. Oil.
But you see, Chris makes me laugh when he's on about Noah's and he goes, Noah's. Well, I say it, I can't say it.
What noise?
Noah's.
Get the quotes on.
Yeah. And I say Noah's.
That speaks foreign, me.
Yeah. But yeah. But we're only on about Sean Bean, weren't we? He's got like a right York. He's proper Yorkshire accent. He has.
He's a blade and he's a blade. No, no, no.
So yeah. Where does your sister live? Darnell?
No,
No.
she's in Barnsley, ain't she?
No. Where does she live now?
Summerfield.
Eh?
Summerfield. Can't remember the first bit. She's in Barnsley.
I thought it was Darnell.
Well, I don't want to live down there.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Yeah, he's a Sheffield lad. Is Sean Bean is a blade.
He is a blade.
But he's just started doing like an advert for Yorkshire Tea. So yeah. He's got a lot, because we're on about this other night, like people with broad accents, and you know, like his dad's got a right broad accent, and you've either got a broad accent or you haven't, you know. So, but even like I'm from Nottinghamshire, and how long we've been here? About 5 years. Nearly 6 years. I still haven't. We call him Scene Bean. Yeah. So, but I still talk the way we talk in Nottinghamshire. You know, it's hard getting away from your roots, if you know what I mean. But when all's said and done, Nottinghamshire's only like how long? About 35, 40 minutes down road.
40, 50 minutes. And
it's a similar accent, but it's not. You know, I mean, when I first sort of met up with his mum and dad, I used to call water. I mean, in Nottingham, you call it water. She says, "Don't you mean water?" I went, "No, it's water." and people refer to, you know, like from Nottinghamshire or Mansfield or that way, that, you know, there were a lot of pits, and, you know, you've got a right, you know, pit accent. You know, our miners used to talk. We call it water too. Oh dear. But yeah, you know, I mean, it's even though like it's classed as Nottinghamshire, but it's like Mansfield, Worksop, you know, that way. There were a lot of pits, and all miners used to talk like that. So they, like, people in that area adopted what they call a miner's accent. So yeah. Richard says we also call it water in Lancs. We went to Mansfield once, it was shut. Well, little village I come from, Wakey, you know, you blink and you miss it. So it weren't sort of Mansfield, it was, you know, a few miles away from Mansfield, but you know, it was like a little village. I mean, probably nobody's heard of it, Uthwaite, you know what I mean? But they were like, there must have been at least 3 or, I mean, we got a pit in Uthwaite. There were one in Stanton Hill, which is like we're just, hiya Carla, how are you?
Carla.
So, yeah, we're just talking about dialects from different parts of the country. So yeah, you know, I mean, it's although my accent is a lot similar to Yorkshire, it isn't, if you know what I mean. Yeah, you know, and it's like what we call, like, where we live in now, it's in Yorkshire, and you've got like people that have got really broad Yorkshire accents. You know what I mean? And then sort of where I'm from, we've got a lot of mines, coal mines. So we sort of adopted the like pit talk, the pit accent, like, you know what I mean? So yeah, it used to be like that where I'm from, but they have built so many houses that you don't know where. But you see, on the place that we come from, like Uthwaite, there's like an housing estate. I mean, obviously, when the pit ceased to function, they levelled it all and they built houses on it. So how that one works, and I do know, because my stepbrother bought a house down there, they've had no end of problems, like subsidence and things like that. And same as I said to Chris, it seems daft building houses on the site of an old mine. And then they wonder, hiya Kate, how are you?
Hey, Kate's in the house.
Not Kate, Easy Days is Kate.
I know it is.
Oh. Yeah, Loft House Colliery. Ooh. But you see, same as I say, it's a dying thing nowadays, because same as I say, within, as we call it, spitting distance, there were like 3 or 4 collieries, but there's none now, none at all. You know, and then sort of when all the pits closed, you've got a lot of the men didn't know anything other than mining, because a lot of them had gone straight into mining from school. So they were like, a lot of them had to reinvent themselves get a new, you know, a new, how can I put it? Go back to college or learn a new trade or something. Have they got any remains of it? Is it worth a drone flight? I don't know.
I'm going to Google locked house colouring.
So, you know, it's a lot of them had to travel a bit further afield to the pits that were still operating. It says, sorry, it's a golf course now.
PP.
You know what I mean? It's a lot of them had gone straight from school straight down the pit. So a lot that were sort of getting on a bit took redundancy, and then others, if they still wanted to work, they've either got to go further afield or retrain, you know, a new profession. You see, I think the only one that were the one that you went to other day, Clipston. Yeah.
Great
I think like the one that were in Uthwaite was Silverhill. That's like, some as I say, they built tall houses and everything on it now. The one at Stanton Hill, that's all houses and everything now. So I can't think of one that's
Probably Clipston's on it.
there were one at Teversall.
Right?
There were one at Teversall.
Teversall.
You know where Carnarvon Arms is? There were one just up that, you know, them country lanes that we used to go down. There were one up there at one point. Trying to think. You put me on spot there.
Even in Streamways, all the collieries of Teversall and Stanton Hill. 7 years ago.
Yeah. Well, you see, Stanton Hill with the one, you know, where my mum used to live on Brand Lane. The pit were at top of that road.
That where I used to go working at plastics factory, wasn't it?
Hazy Days took his drone out today. Had some nice weather. What drones he got, Kate? Because Chris went out up like practically all day yesterday to Conisborough.
21 Archers.
Yeah, the 21 Archers at Conisborough. You know, what drone has he got? Have you any idea what he's got? So, yeah, Chris had a good day. Well, he wrote me a note because I were in bed when he went out. And he wrote me a note and he says, going to Donny, which is short for Doncaster, he says, I'll be back soon. And this was like 10 o'clock in the morning. It were about 10 to 6 when he came home. So, you know, I don't know where he got the be back soon bit from because they were gone all day.
Well, we weren't expecting to be going to bloody Scarsdale Hall.
But, DJ Mavic.
Oh, DJ Mavic.
Yeah.
Pro, same as me.
Yeah, Chris has got the Mavic Pro. Oh, let's go over to Wales.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Have you got like 2 spare beds, one for me and Jeanette and one for Callum? We'll keep
I think it's new. We see Chris didn't buy his new. He got it off a mate of his. Oh, it's just well, Mavic Pro ain't new, is it? New art.
I'll check. Mavic 2. If so, does he want to swap?
But yeah, I mean, it's like, you know, it's like Chris is hooked on it now. He you know, he thinks, like some as I say, I mean, get him to look at it. Where is it? Conisborough. And he went to a place called the 21 Arches, and it's like it's like a viaduct. And obviously the 21 Arches, because it's like all arches. I mean, it's newish. I mean, I think that's what it's called. I'll check. We see Chris as the Mavic Pro. and his mate was selling it because he wanted to upgrade, so Chris bought that off him. So yeah, you know, I mean, he's hooked right good and proper. You know, it's a lot smaller than the Phantom he had, and the bag it fits in. It might be a Spark.
It's either a Spark, a Mavic Pro, or a Mavic 2 Zoom.
Yeah. Is it black?
Grey.
Chris's is black. Just
mine's grey.
Baby, just bring it over here and show Kate your drone.
I'll get a picture on
that link is to Chris's latest one, the 21 Archers video. I mean, if you want easy to have a look at it, I mean, it was fantastic footage. You know, it's right out in middle of the countryside, and it's like a viaduct. And where they get the 21 Archers from is because it's like that, and there's like 21 Archers. So no, Chris, same as I say, Chris's is black.
No, mine's grey.
I mean grey. It's because I'm reading that. Is it black? It's all right. Bringing it over, Kate, for you to have a look at it. See if it's somewhat similar to what Chris's is. That's Chris's look. That's his. That's the Mavic Pro. That one is. And that's
£1,000. No, but I didn't get it for £1,000. That'll stay there all rest of the stream.
Yeah, because it's covering my face up. It does look black, but it isn't. It's grey.
Quality.
Yeah, it's a DJI Maverick. It's a Mavic.
Maverick. Steve said calls them Mavericks.
They do them in black though, don't they? Do they?
No, I've not seen one in black. I see one in white.
Yeah, she says, yeah, it's a DJI Maverick Pro. Well, that's what Chris has got. Is
brilliant.
Easy's just put a video up. You'll have to watch it.
Oh, post it in the chat.
Same as I say, Chris, that link that Chris has put up. Wakey says he's got to go walk his.
See you later, Wakey Woo.
That link that Chris has put in is to the one that he filmed yesterday when he rapped all day. You know, I mean, I know I'm biased, but honestly, Kate, it's fantastic footage. It's out in the countryside. You know, I mean, it keeps wanting me to fly it, but I'm so nervous, and I keep saying, well, knowing my luck, I'll take controls and the blooming thing will crash. You know, I'm scared to death because they're so expensive. You know, because they're so expensive. And same as I said, I'd hate to think that I had a go on it and then it crashes.
They're not crashing, girl.
But you know, that's just me. You know what I mean? I'm like, you know, gone right down to 5 now watching.
I know. Post the link in it, Kate, if you're still here.
Yeah, tell Mavic Air.
Maverick.
Oh dear. Yeah, the Chris loves this. I mean,
quite good Mavic Airs are actually.
Yeah. First of all, Chris had a DJI Phantom 3, and then he went upgraded it to a Phantom 4. Then he had the Spark. But the Spark is a very small drone. And then he found out this guy that he knows was selling his Mavic Pro, and you know, he jumped at the chance to buy it. Well, he sold the Spark to get the Osmo Pocket, and then I kept saying you're missing going droning, and you know what I mean. There's only so much you can film with the Osmo Pocket, and he says, yeah, he says I do. So anyway, same as I say, I got a bit of money back, you know, when they sorted me pips and everything out. So I says to him, I says, well, I tell you what, I says, I'll, you know, ask him how much he wants for it, and Yeah, you see, that's one of the things. Even though Chris liked his Phantom, everywhere he went, he got to look this great, this great backpack, when he says, with that or the Spark, it just fits in a little bag. You know what I mean? So, yeah, well, that's it. Same as Chris has just said, the Mavic's more practical. It's just as good. I mean, don't get me wrong, you liked your Phantoms, didn't you?
Mm.
But same as he says, everywhere you went, you got to, lug this great big case with you. And same as he says, the Spark and the Mavic are so more compact. Some as I say, he bought this like big bag, with all these different compartments, so he could take his tripod out, his iPad thing, and everything else. But he's been having a lot of trouble with one of his shoulders. He's uploaded his video just now. So yeah. So anyway, he's got this big bag, and it's like he puts everything in it but kitchen sink. And then he started having trouble with his shoulder. And I said it could be the fact that. What's gone off here now? Well, it says I'm still live. It's just on.
Refreshing. I'm refreshing. Yeah, you're on. You're still on.
Oh, still on. Yeah, it was saying error occurred.
It didn't go off on mobile, so.
Oh.
Just on here.
Oh. It were on mine as well. It come up as an error. So I don't know what went off there. I think it was YouTube, because I checked StreamYard, and that was still going. So I don't know what went off there. It just like a grainy screen, and it says an error occurred. So I don't know, but I checked the StreamYard bit, and that says I was still live. So I don't know whether it was YouTube or what. So I do apologise for that. It was beyond my control. So yeah.
YouTube throwing a wobbly.
Yeah, it was just YouTube playing up, I think. I'm going to be baking a cake at the weekend, because it's my birthday Sunday, and I have got something in common with Kate, because it's Natasha's birthday the same day.
Oh, is it?
Yes, my sisters. Because Natasha's, we always call each other sis, because we've got the same birthdays. So yeah. 21 again. Because I had to laugh, because I do these things on. No, it's not Kate. It's Tash. That's Daisy's sister.
Oh, close enough.
Like names testing, this OMG thing, and it says, what age could you pass for? And it says on mine 28, and I went, you are kidding, aren't you? You know what I mean? I says no, I don't laugh. I says, me pass for 28, you've got to be kidding. Oh dear. And and then it does one where it says, what you're going to look like when you're 100. I thought I'll make it to 100. And it were like a top wig, and it says Queen on it, and then I got like all these rainbow things, and I thought, yeah, that's me. Oh dear. But yeah, I mean, some of them, it makes you laugh. I mean, I know they're only a bit of fun, like, but me passing for 28, I don't think so.
Told you only look like
Well, it says Emma, look, it passed for 25, so that makes her only like 3 years younger than me. I thought, yeah, in my dreams.
Well, then it's with 3 triplets.
Yeah, and Dennis and Emma are having triplets apparently. So we were laughing about that. I messaged her and I said, "You're gonna have your hands full with triplets." Well, if that comes up on mine, it'll have to be Immaculate Conception then. That ship sailed a long time ago in my case. Oh dear. Well, let's just put it politely. I went through menopause some years ago, so you know, I'll just leave you to guess. You know, I mean, we aren't giving my age away. You know, I did go through the menopause quite a few years. Even like now, I'm sweating. So yeah. Are you guessing Carla's 28 then as well?
Carla's 22.
Oh. Thomas said back. Yeah. You see, I always have one about this time of night, Carla. I don't know why it is. It's, you know, I'm sweating like one-o. Yeah, hot flashes. I get you on that one, Carla. So was it because Chris says to me, we got on about it the other night, and we got on about menopause and everything. And he went, I thought you'd gone through menopause. I says, I have. I says, but I still get hot flushes. I says, I says, just because you've gone through the menopause, I says, it don't stop you from having hot flushes. So I says to him, I says, well, that just goes to show you how much young men know about the menopause. That one's a good in. That one's a good in, Carla.
Personal trips to traffic.
Oh dear, I like that one. We're talking about menopause, Kate. You know, I was just saying I went through menopause some years ago, and then we were talking about it the other night, and Chris says something about menopause, and I says, just because you've gone through menopause, it don't mean to say that you don't have hot flushes. But you know, and I've always said this. I says, men don't know the half of it. I mean, we have to put up with periods. We have to go through childbirth. Then when this childbearing days is over, we have to go through the menopause. You know what I mean? It's men don't know half of it. So, and Chris always makes a joke and he say, oh, and I says, I tell you something. I says, if men had got to give birth, there won't be no birth at all because they couldn't cope with it. And he makes a joke of it and saying, oh, I'd shell them out like peas and yeah. Yeah. You don't know what pain is until you've had a baby. So and that's why they call us the stronger sex, because they're all, you know, period pains and childbirth pain, and then we have to go through the menopause, and yeah, right. You wished it were that simple, Richard. It's not just that simple. You know, you have a small part to play in making of the children, but that's it. Once your job's done, your job's done. Yeah, yeah. Menopause. Yeah.
Menopause.
Yeah. When it all boils down to it, it's all because of men, innit? Menstrual cramps. Yeah. Mental breakdown. Yeah. They've got a lot to answer for, these men have, you know. Shared a cute little YouTube channel for you guys to check out from my friend's daughter. Manicle. But yeah, we're blaming you, you men, Richard and Thomas. You know, for all his problems. But yeah, you know, it's manipulating. But yeah, I mean, you know, the men only have a small part to play in it. You know, we have to bake it in the oven for 9 months. You know what I mean? And you've got, you know, high blood pressure and, you know, lumping a baby about, you know, for 9 months. And then you've got to go through the actual pain of childbirth. So, don't know they're born, do they? You know, and they think they've got it bad. So, yeah. So, you know, I'd like to see it sort of, you know, I mean.
My wife had ours, one popped out, another swipe behind it, and like being at a bus stop.
Not like Callum when Chris thought he'd got to be a
Wicket keeper.
Yeah, either wicket keeper or one of these things that when they play baseball and whatever. Yeah, swollen ankles. And Chris always refers to Callum as he shot out like an Exocet missile. But yeah, and then men will say, "Oh well, you forget about pain once they're born and whatever." Yeah, stretch marks. Yeah, I agree with you there, Kate. They ain't got none of that, have they? So, but yeah, you know, the list is endless. Same as I say, I mean, I was watching a thing on YouTube about this woman had bought this machine and it simulates contractions and everything during childbirth, right? And it couldn't hack it. It could not hack it. And that were only like the contractions and everything. You know, it weren't as if it were, you know, it were actually feeling the pain of childbirth. It were only the contractions bit that, you know, it was called a contraction simulator. You know, they couldn't deal with it. You know what I mean? They couldn't deal with it. So,
yeah, it won't be a case of not being able to deal with it. It'll be a case of having to deal with it.
Well, yeah, like we have to.
We're having it, yeah.
So, Yeah, you've got the varicose veins, have you?
Mm.
But yeah, and I you know, I still say, you know, if men had got to give birth, there wouldn't be many being born, I tell you. So, oh, pardon me, I want to burp then. Well, you'll have to be like, what's it, when Arnold Schwarzenegger, he had to have a C-section, didn't he?
No, in twins.
Yeah.
Funny that. Oh, funny.
But yeah, I mean, you know, I can honestly say under my heart, I've had all mine naturally. And Callum, I didn't have time for any, you know, only thing I managed, we were gas and air with Callum.
Good stuff, that. I want some of that inside of me.
Yeah, I had to laugh because, like, I've got 3 grown-up kids, and like, we all other 3, I've had some sort of problem. Like my oldest one, I mean, he's 33 now. He turned wrong way, so we were coming out instead of face upwards.
Feet first.
No, we weren't. That's breech. It weren't breech. It just that it turned round and they were coming out, you know. Instead of face upwards, it were face downwards. So I had to have a ventouse with that. I had to have a blood transfusion because I lost that much blood. Second one, I had a prolonged stay in hospital because I had preeclampsia and high blood pressure. And then my third one, I had gallstones while I was pregnant. So all the 3 pregnancies, well, not so much the pregnancies, but one way or another, I'd had problems. But with Callum, you know, only problem I had were slight morning sickness, sailed through pregnancy, and his birth was straightforward, weren't it? What time did we get in hospital? About 3:30, and we were born at 7:30.
7:30, what to be precise?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was only problem that we had when I were expecting Callum. I was sort of about 3 or 4 weeks away from having Callum, and a stupid woman pulled out in front of us, and Chris swerved so we wouldn't hit her, and we went through a brick wall. But apart from that, you know, they kept me in overnight just to make sure I were all right, you know. So yeah, I mean, but you can't really call that. Hey, we've got Keith in.
Hey, there's 3 goals.
All I can say is women. You'd be lost with artists, Keith, I tell you. Now, the only thing, Thomas, was when we went through this brick wall, I cracked my leg on dashboard, and years later, I think Callum was still a baby, weren't he? I got this lump come up in my knee where I had it knee against dashboard, and they didn't know what it was. I'd had MRI scans and had CT scans and everything, and they couldn't determine what it was. So I ended up having to have an operation on my knee to remove this lump that were in my knee. And it turned out it were a cyst. So, I mean, all were good, but, you know, apart from, you know, same as I say, a few months down the line when this lump come up on my knee. But, yeah, they kept me in hospital overnight because they called an ambulance with me being pregnant. And I had to laugh because they took me into accident and emergency, and I don't know whether it was shock or whatever. And I kept saying, oh, I'm having contractions. I'm having contractions. Contractions, yeah. Contractions. And this, the nurse, I mean, this rash she put it, she went, oh, we don't want any babies being born here. So the maternity unit was sort of like a hop, skip and a jump away from accident and emergency. And they actually called me an ambulance to take me over there. So, you know, so they took me over to paternity unit in the place where you go before you have your babies. And they says, you know, it's only a matter of precaution. We're going to keep you overnight, just in case. We'll keep an eye on you. But I went out next morning, so everything were all right. And it were 4 days late. It were too comfy and you know, in end. It should have been born on 4th of November, and it were actually born on the 8th. So yeah, with no ill effect from it. You're actually 4 days later. Because you see, they'd said to me, I was like, because I was at like 40 by the time I had Callum. And basically they said, oh, we don't like leave you too long. And they gave me the 10th to be induced. Well, Callum had, Keith says he's just watched Daisy's Cardiff Bay flight.
Keith, can you post it in the chat for me?
Can you put the link in,
I can't find
Keith, Chris? Let me just have a look.
Oh, he's on his phone. Kate, share the stream, share the video. Cardiff Bay flight. Ooh.
It's all right, my ladies messaged me.
No. Not finding easy days.
Okay then. Yeah, I'm gonna say I'm not gonna be on too long, Thomas, because let me just have a look. Cardiff Bay from the sky, short but sweet. It's only 1 minute and 25. Let me just have a look. I'm sorry if I'm just going to put the link in for you, sweetheart.
Oh, there we go, Barra Boy.
Hiya, Barra Boy. I'm just looking for a link for Chris.
Catch your kids later. I'll have a quick butchers.
Yeah. Oh, when it eventually loads up. Whoop, Cardiff Bay from the sky. It's here.
Wakey's back again from his walkies.
Oh.
Old lad. Hey, there you go. Kate's done it.
How has she done it?
Yeah, thank you, Kate.
I'm
muting you.
Yeah, you just beat me to it then.
Oh, okay.
Sorry about that, Barra Boy. I was just looking for a link for Chris, because Hazy's put a drone video up.
See if it's got my seal of approval.
I'll not be going on too much longer because Steve's live and
Is it live? Huh?
yeah, it's 11 o'clock.
Oh.
So Kate beat me to it. I was looking for the link for it. Is that the link?
Cardiff Bay from the sky.
Yeah, it must be Kate because he's watching it. Okay then, Richard. Thank you for coming in, and I'll see you on the next one.
Ooh. Nice views.
Might have to come to Cardiff then, Kate.
Lovely mountains in background. Question a like on that.
She says yes, defo. We can send
some drizzle.
Yeah, we can send the boys out with the drones, and me and you can have a chinwag and Wanky's eating pork scratchings. Ew.
Well, I like them.
Yeah, Chris likes pork scratchings, but I don't. I used to at one one time or other. So, yeah. So as I say, I mean, I think Wales is about 4 hours, I think, from us. So, hey, Dennis is back.
Oh, Grandad.
We're talking about Kate's fella, Razy Daisy's got a DJI Mavic. Oh,
Yeah.
he says nipples as crunchies. You have to try Cardiff Clark's pies, only made here. Ooh.
Ooh.
Oh, you had to nip out. But yeah, I mean, it'd be nice. I mean, lads we could like probably go for a weekend or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, look into like Premier Inn or a Travel Lodge or something.
It's free.
You know, come on a Friday and
Have they got a big back garden? We can stick tents up in there.
I ain't camping for nobody. Oh yeah, she says there's a Premier Inn just down the road. So
Has it got good Wi-Fi? That's the big thing.
yeah, about 10 minutes away, she says.
Oh.
Well, so as I say, I mean, like lads can go out with the drones, and I'll come over and we can have a chinwag and you know all that sort of stuff. So I'll watch Hazy's footage when I've when I've closed the live stream down. So yeah, I mean, like if we go on Friday, see, Callum ain't got college on Friday, so we could probably go Friday and come back Sunday morning, like Friday and Saturday, because Callum's has a full day on a Monday, you see, at college. So we'd probably and go for food and stuff, show you around the city. Oh, that'd be great. You know what I mean? It's we've gone past Wales because we went to Butlins at Minehead. I mean, and we actually went past Wales. So that's sort of how we know roughly how long it, you know, how long it'll take. We could do it in holidays October, aren't they? Is it? Yeah, they've got. Yeah, I don't know. We see, because it's at college now, Kate, we sort of don't know whether they have the school holidays off or what. We don't, you know, we're not quite sure. Crisps, oh, now that's an idea. Cheese and onion crisp butties. It's got some weird taste. Oh, Johnny Five and Tracy came at Easter time.
Ah.
So yeah, I mean, I'll have to look into it, and because see, I don't know whether they have same holidays at schools or what. I don't know. So we're only just starting college. I'd have to look into it, but same as I say, if we ain't got any holidays due, like October, we could always come on the Friday and come back the Sunday. So he's back for college. Oh, the week after Easter. Oh God, tripe. My grandma used to eat tripe. Ugh.
Oh, my dad used to.
Oh,
that's awful.
Tripe, my grandma used to have oxtail.
Tasted like tripe at all.
And ox tongue. Oh. And you know, as a kid watching your grandma eating tripe, I tell you what, I likened it to like a wet jellyfish. Tripe, you know what I mean? Yeah. But yeah, you know, I mean, we'll have to come to Dennis has put a green face. Oh dear. Oh God. Same as I say, like when I were a kid, we used to go down to my grandma's every Friday evening, and she were either eating oxtail, is it tongue, like a proper tongue, and tripe. And I just used to sit there, you know, my stomach was churning. And the only good thing about it was, or what they called tea cakes, but we used to toast them actually on an open fire. I was trying to think of them. They were toasted tea cakes, and that was the best thing about going to my grandma's on a Friday evening. But yeah, some, as I say, some thick, but she were old school. I mean, you know, and you know, when they used to boil tripe and boil this oxtail, and it turns my stomach just to think about it now. Steak pie sarnie. So yeah, it's Dyke's back in high school now. We'll be studying and doing mocks this year for GCSEs. Because yeah, that's it. That's it. Same as I say, I'm not too sure on what holidays the college have, if at all any. So I don't know whether they have the same holidays as the kid, you know, the schools do or what. I don't know. I'd have to look into it. I mean, we could always sort of come down for a few days, sort of in October, school holidays. You know what I mean? Well, I'll look into it. You know, and you know, look into it and see what's what. Okie dokie then. Okie dokie. Well, I'm a bit, what's it at closing it down, because I've got 9 in now, so.
Carry on.
Some, as I say, ketchup. Yeah, we're a divided family, you see, Kate. Chris has brown sauce on everything. Now me and Callum are team ketchup. You know what I mean?
Like a real plastic ketchup.
And he'll only buy HP. Daddy's won't cut it. It's got to be HP. But yeah, it's like Callum, whatever he's eating. I mean, he even has ketchup on pizza, and he's a stickler, isn't he? He actually has it on his pizza, and then he's got to have a blob at side.
Tiger of what? After settle for HP, kids bought out Tiger 6 bits, took away their competition.
Oh.
Never heard it.
But this is a question, and I know it's sort of going away from the food subject. You know how Chris has been having like this trouble with his shoulder? Somebody told me to try that Tiger Balm. Has anybody used it, and is it any good? But
Tiger Balm.
Well, I told you other day somebody had mentioned that they use that Tiger Balm.
No.
But you see, women. Keith says yes, it's good. But you see, what I have a cream that that the doctor prescribed me, and they give me 2 great big tubes a month. But since he's had this problem with his shoulder, euthanasia will cure it. Since he's had this problem with his shoulder, I'm getting through it like water, because I have it on my joints every night, and of course Chris is using it with him having this bad shoulder. Yeah, well, what it is, Kate, as you know, I sort of moved from the morning streams, and I will go in a bit later, like in afternoons. But I did one the other Wednesday, I think it was, and I only I only let it run 34 minutes because there were nobody in. So I sort of put in the group, what's a good time to go live? And somebody says, well, basically, if you go live about 9 o'clock, you know, there's like the Americans, you know, they're probably home from work or whatever. So it's probably a good time for you to go live, let's say about 9 p.m. So, so like this is a regular thing now. I'm going to be live streaming in the evenings rather than sort of, you know, live. Same as I says, it seems a lot easier for us because, like, same as I say, Chris wrote all day yesterday. He didn't come back till 6 o'clock, and like now Chris and myself can't get live anymore. The women have taken over. And you know, I've had quite a good response to it. I mean, like, I've done another baking vlog today, and I ain't had to rush about with it. Yeah, right. It isn't uploaded or anything yet because we've got to do the green screen bit. But it gives us a lot more time during the day to do what we've got to do. Like if Chris wants to go out flying the drone, you know, or I'm doing a baking vlog. You know what I mean? I ain't nicked your laptop.
We commandeered it.
Yeah, well, you've got your own over there.
No, it's not as good as that one.
I will stick with the whiskey. No, we're not. You won't know where you won't know where you'd be without us women. So
don't start that crap again.
I'm just saying. Just saying. You know what I mean? It's like, who do your washing? Who bake your own?
Simple washing machine.
Most men don't know how to work a washing machine.
You will have to join Aces and Tony's streams. Well, no.
So, I mean, this is no word of a lie, and I kid you not. When I went for that chest X-ray, I was sat outside in this because I have to use a wheelchair because it was like right over the other side at hospital. And there was this man and woman having a conversation, and I think it were a dad, and his wife was in the hospital, and he says something like, "Oh, dirty clothes is piling up." He says because she not tell me how to work washing machine. And I thought, well, that's a typical bloke, you know. I mean, Chris knows how to work cars. You know what I mean? And he would say, well, I've got no clean clothes. And it was a case of, you know, just tell me how to work it. Well, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Chris knows how to work our washing machine. But it were a typical, I mean, it were an oldish fella. And you could tell they were like old school. And she were the one that did the washing, that she was the one that did the ironing. And because you're in hospital, he was saying to this girl, I don't, some as I say, I'm assuming it were his daughter, you know, washing were piling up. I'd got, you know, gone 2 weeks without having any washing done. He says, and I were running out of clean clothes. You know what I mean? But yeah, and I had to tit to myself. And I thought, well, that's, you know, the older generation. Yeah, I mean, Keith says he knows how to work his washing machine, but it's typical of, like, you know, the woman basically keeps the arse afloat. Not saying, you know, they all do, but he'd got no idea. He'd got no idea how to work the washing machine. You know, but because you were in there, I think, for a prolonged period of time, it got, you know, it got dirty washing piling up. It got no clean clothes. So he just says to her, just tell me how to work the damn washing machine, woman. You know what I mean? And I had to tit it to myself. You know, Ari said it. You know, he says, tell me how to work the damn washing machine, woman. Oh dear. But yeah, I mean, same as I say, I mean, Chris knows how to work cars, he knows how to work tumble dryer, you know. But this guy were really, really old school, you know. I mean, he must have been 70 or 80, you know. And I just sat there tittering to myself. Same as I say, I don't know whether it was his daughter or whether it were somebody that he knew or whatever, but it were telling her, you know. Oh, that's it. We will have to do a YouTube video on how to use the oven and use the washing machine. A tutorial on how to. Yeah, but you all washing machines aren't the same, are they?
Yeah, but I'll give just an idea.
But you know, it's that's sort of the older generation for you. Same as I say, he hadn't got a clue, poor bloke. And you know, it were a case of you know, I'm running out of clothes. Tell me how to work it. So, but yeah, I mean, like you know, I'm going back to my grandma. I mean, she didn't have a washing machine, and she got old mangle thing outside. You know, mangle where you turn handle and you put your. Yeah, we used to think it would dip. You know, we, you know, we thought it would dip because my mum and dad had got like what I call a twin tub, and you know, but my grandma were old school. She did used to wash everything by hand, and then she'd have this mangle out in yard. You know, she'd rinse everything, just took everything in a bucket, and then go outside and put it through this mangle. Yeah, scrubbing board and yeah. So yeah, we were only talking about that the other night, Wakey. I can remember when I were a kid, me and my sister used to sit in front of open fire, me at one end and my sister in other, in a tin bath. So, you know, we did have a tin bath. We hadn't got no central heating. We hadn't got a bathroom. Toilet were up the yard. So yeah, and when we're talking about guzzlers or chamber pots, now we had we used to call them pea pots, but the chamber pots, you know, under bed, you know. Yeah, my grandma never had a fridge, Kate. She had what they call like it was like a how can I put it? It was like a wooden structure with mesh on it, and that were her fridge. There were no such things as fridges in them days. You know, like if you went and bought a joint of meat or tripe or whatever, it got like a marble slab in bottom. You know what I mean? And that was their fridge. They didn't have no, you know. And I can't even remember my grandma ever having a television either.
Have you seen my comment yet?
Yes.
Do you?
Yes.
Oh.
We had a posh council house, upstairs and downstairs toilet. Ooh.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And
And
so like you got some money, then I'm definitely going down Wales.
yeah, and like I can remember like when we went from a black and white television to a colour television, and we thought it would dip. I mean, there weren't no remote controls or anything, you know. we were the remote control. And more often than not, they were one of these funny antenna things on top of telly. Hiya, Angel, how are you? It's all right, we're talking about the good old days when there were no fridges and no washing machines and no fridges and, you know, I mean, same as I was saying, you know, back in the day, you know, they didn't have none of these, you know, automatic washing machines where you just chuck everything in and it washes itself. So, so yeah, you know, and because my grandma were old school, some as I say, we thought it, we used to turn handle on mangle for because we thought it would dip. Yeah, yeah. You know, same as I say, I can never remember my grandma having I can never remember. And she, this is no word of a lie, she used to sit in the corner in a rocking chair. You know what I mean? She'd got, you know, she'd not got, I think she did, like eventually, I think she did eventually buy a spin dryer. You know, because she were getting on a bit and she found the mangle hard work. I don't know whether my mum and dad bought it her or kids, because they were, my dad were one of 8. And this is the thing, Kate. My mum were born in 1939, and my mum always said, everybody blamed my mum for war because she were born just as the war was starting. You know what I mean? But yeah, my grandma were really old school, but it were only when the mangle got too much hard work for her. She, well, you know, she got this spin dryer. So basically, she'd rinse them, still wash them by hand, rinse them in the, and we're talking about one of these old pot sinks that are like coming back in fashion nowadays. Hey, we've got 808 Steve. My nan had a mangle which got my finger stuck in and tin bath that came out. Yeah, exactly, Steve. We used to have a bath on a Sunday. I mean, we got no running hot water, so my mum used to have to boil hot water up. And that's the reason why me and my sister used to have a bath together, because it was too much trouble, you know, 2 foot price of one, basically. I'd sit at one end and my sister would sit at other. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And you know, she'd have to, my dad, mum would get one end at tin bath, my dad would get other, and they used to have to like chuck hot water down grate outside, and it'd be hung straight upon up for till following Sunday.
My grand used to sit in the corner with a shillelagh close to hand, just in case we needed a good clout.
So yeah, same as I say, I mean, they were the good old days.
I used to like lampposts in night.
So yeah, you know, I mean, same as I say, she only sort of gave in and had this spin dryer when the mangle got a bit too much for her. So you know, and before we moved in, because my dad were building a bungalow, and you know, we got no running hot water, there were no boilers, there were no central heating, we hadn't even got a bathroom. So but we thought it would it once we moved into the bungalow, because we got a sunken bath, we got a shower, you know. We thought we're living in lap of luxury. You know, we got, you know, just tap on and you know, you got hot running water. It were you know, it were a novelty to us. So
Wasn't.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And I often say, I mean, it's like kids these days don't know they're born.
Bottom black. Oh, bottom black, yeah.
Yeah, I agree there. And we're only saying the other night as well that, you know, like when it was school holidays, where we lived, it were fields all around. You could go out in fields and you'd be sort of out at crack of dawn, you know, first early doors, and that were it till about 7 o'clock at night. But you know, you knew that when your mum shouted you at 7 o'clock, that were it, you'd got to go in. You know,
It was dark when I had to go in. They used to lock me out.
you know what I mean? My mum used to say, and there were no sort of, she didn't have to come looking for us. She knew. She'd just stand on doorstep and shout us, and we'd come in. That were it. You know, there were no, you know, we used to play with kids next door, make mud pies and all sorts, and you know, same as Chris was saying other night, they can't even play conkers or nothing nowadays because of health and safety. You know, it's just the times that we're living in, really. Yeah, and I'm saying, Kay, it's I mean, in one respect, Callum's a bit not antisocial, but he's not very. He don't get on with. He don't make friends.
Well,
Yeah, he don't make friends easily. So most of the time, Callum's in his bedroom and he's playing on his games.
talking to his mates on there.
Yeah, and it's a case of, in a way, I'm glad, because he's 16 and a half, he's nearly 17, and you hear such a lot these days, a lad's his age getting into trouble, getting knifed or getting shot, or, you know what I mean? So, yeah. Oh, you're eating, are you? Yeah, we're talking about the good old days, Carla, you know, in his grandparents, you know, like old school, and you know, it's sad, really. You know, there's such a lot of crime out, and in one way, I'm glad Callum don't go out of an evening, you know, because there's that much trouble out there. You only have to look wrong way at a person, and you know, it's you only have to look at a person wrong way, and rather than, you know, they'll knife you, or, you know, I mean, and there's that many problems with drugs and whatever nowadays, you know what I mean? I mean, there were no, you know, I've never touched drugs in my life. Chris has never touched drugs in his life. Yeah, we smoke, but that's about the only thing that we do.
And not the happy stuff.
You know what I mean? You know, we smoke cigarettes, but that's the only thing that we do. We've never done drugs, and you know, and so it's so easy to get into, you know, get into drugs nowadays, because it's more or less, it don't matter where you live. There's more or less drugs on every street corner. You know what I mean? And
that red car that parks in car park out there, isn't there?
yeah, I mean, there's a car that comes up here occasionally, and we often say it's not from round here, and we wonder if it's, you know,
Really.
dealing from his car.
That's it
But,
for a bit, though.
You know, but you've got to actually catch them doing it before you can report it. I mean, we can't prove no. I mean, it's all right saying it's a strange car and whatever, but you know what I mean? And it says in the dog. But yeah, you know, I mean, I've got enough on with the medications that I take. You mind smoking wacky backy, as they call it. or marijuana.
Marijuana. Give me some ganja, man.
Yeah, Steve says he says I'm a smoker, but no. You see, I mean, I always say I'm happy enough we are having, you know, mind-altering drugs or whatever. I don't need it. I've got enough problems. We are, you know. Yeah, well, this is it, you see, and it's like Callum. I mean, when he were at school, he used to have to catch the bus to school, and I you know, I might be a protective mother, but I used to say to him, as soon as you get on bus, ring me and let me know that you've got on bus. And it was saying when he were coming home, just ring me and let me know that you're on the bus on the way back home, because where we used to live, the school was just up the road, and he could walk. But when we moved here, it's a bus ride away, and he didn't want to change schools or anything, so we'd had to catch a bus. But it's you know, I same as I said to him, I says the only rules: you ring me when you get on the bus, and you ring me when you get on the bus back home. And they were the only two, you know, the two things that I said to him. You know. And I says, as soon as you get in school, turn your phone off, put it in your bag. You know, that's it. So long as you ring me, as soon as you're on the bus, that's all I'm bothered about. So, you know, but you do worry about your kids. You know, it's getting as though, you know, you don't let them out your sight. Even though sort of Callum's 16 and a half, 17, you know what I mean? You still worry about him. I mean, like it's the college is only like 2 tram stops. It can walk it to college, but you don't know who's out. You mean you've got druggies out on streets, you've got homeless people, you've got, you know, people that, you know, alcoholics and all this, that, and other. And you don't know whether they're going to get attacked for, you know, for the money.
Oh, wait, says nicotine is a drug.
Yeah.
They don't get you high, though.
I mean, there's worse things to have an addiction to, isn't there, if you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What I'm going to do, my mother still worries, and I'm 54. But, you know, I mean, until my mum's dying day, she's still worried about me. You know, and I used to say to my mum, you know, don't worry about me. I says, I'm big enough to look after myself, you know. And she says, well, you're still my child, no matter how old you are. You know what I mean? Don't worry about me. Chris is looking after me, you know, blah, blah, blah. You know, well, that's it. I mean, the same as Chris has just said, even though Callum's like 16 and a half going on 17, it's still his baby boy. You know what I mean? And you do worry, and you know, it's like he'll come down and he'll say, what does this mean, or what does that mean? You know what I mean? And it's like his mates have probably been telling him something, you know, and they don't know what it means. And I've always said to him, if you don't understand something, you ask. So I don't know whether, you know, what it's, you know, it's, and I've always tried to be open and upfront with Callum, you know, and I want to think that if he's got anything worrying him or anything, he can come to me, and say, well, look, I've got a problem. What do you think I ought to do? You know, it's a case of, you know, then Callum ran about getting his own flat, and I says, yeah, I says, you needn't think, I says, you know, you're going to live on your own. I says, and still bring your washing here. I says, when you think about it, I says, you're better off living at home for as long as you can. I says, because you've got rent to pay, you've got council tax to pay, you've got food to buy, you've got gas and electric, you know, and then you know, you've got all other living expenses. So I says to him, I says, until you've got some money behind, until you've got a good job, my advice to you would be take your washing to Callum. You know what I mean? My advice to you, Callum, if you want my advice, is stay living at home as long as possible until you've got some money behind you, till you've got a good job. And then you can consider like moving out and moving in somewhere on your own. You know what I mean? Because the youngsters of today, it's like, you know, the property ladder. The youngsters of today ain't got a chance of getting on the property ladder. So, right, what I'm going to do, guys, is I've been going on like 2.5 hours. And I did say I was going to shut it down at 11 o'clock. So, I'm
paid for overtime.
no. I'm going to close it down and I'll be back on Friday night at 9 o'clock. So I want to thank everybody for joining me. And I do appreciate you all being here. You know, and I just want to thank everybody for coming in. So I'll see you on the next one, guys, and have a good night. Bye for now.
Bye. With their lovely parents like you and Chris. No, sir. No.